Yeah, unfortunately, Lukasz Rusek's okay. That I've had enough of it. Perfectly honest, and I know there's a 1-game suspension, but I think just collectively as a league, we're all part of it. We all need to do a better job of protecting our players. There's too many hits to the head. There's too many hits from behind. And those are hits we want to get out of the game of hockey. So I just think we, as a league, we collectively have to do a better job of getting rid of those types of plays, because that was a disgustingly predatory and intentional act to try to injure somebody. Yeah, they're weird things, right? I mean, we still don't. We understand more about concussions and head injuries than we used to, but we still don't understand everything. And sometimes the most innocent looking hit can lead to a major concussion, and sometimes a disgustingly predatory hit like that you're fine from. So fortunately, he is fine. He passed all protocols that night, passed all protocols yesterday, and skated. So he's good to go. We're happy about that. I think what a courageous play by him. Nobody has better vision on our team than Lukasz Rusek. So he saw him coming. He knew what was going to happen because Radish's stick was up here. He wasn't making a play on the puck at any point. Lukasz decided that finishing the game and winning the hockey game was more important than his own safety at that moment. And what a gutsy play to help us win that game.
Who will be goaltending?
Upi will play again tonight. Yep.
How is he really steady the ship there this season?
Well, first of all, he had a great summer. We've talked about that. So he's in phenomenal physical condition. So that helps. His habits keep getting better. Seamus Kotick, our goaltending development coach, does a fabulous job with him. And he's got an elite work ethic. And, he had he's had 9 starts. 7 of them have been either good or great. 2 were sloppy, but we were horrible in front of him those 2 games. I mean, we could have had, Marty Brodeur in his prime in net in those 2 games, and the scores would have been lopsided. We were very poor defensively, and we're growing as a young team defensively. So I think we've played much better team defense in the last 5 games, and then that's allowed him to also play the way that he's capable of
playing. This season as well.
He's far more. He's just his whole presence. His daily habits, he's always been a worker, but just everything about him, I mean, it's part of what this league does, right? It helps people grow up. It places players in adversity. He's went through a lot of adversity for an elite prospect. And that adversity, for some, it breaks you, but for the ones that don't break from it, it makes you stronger. It fuels your growth as a hockey player, but also as a human. And it certainly has with him.
Deep work finally settled down a little bit?
Well, signing Barkowski and Davidson has helped a ton because they're veterans, they're defenders at heart. Some young defensemen, you're trying to get them to defend more and not be in the rush all the time. With those guys, you have to try to get them to get in the rush more often. So at heart, they're defenders, right? And they've allowed us to stabilize. Which has been important, obviously getting Davies back. We also get Chase Prisky back tonight. So that's allowed the stabilization of the decor. But I also think our forwards, especially our young forwards, are starting to become better defensive players. They're back checking better. We're arriving in the defensive zone better. Because playing good team defense is a 5-man job on the ice, not just a 2-man job. Well, what is it about home ice? It's hard, it's hard to say other than our players love playing in front of our fans. And I think the guys, after the COVID year, and there's still restrictions for chunks of last year, I think that playoff run for the guys that were returning this year kind of was an eye-opener about what this fan base really can be like when we're doing our part and they're doing their part. And it's exciting and it's fun to play in front of that. And, you know, certainly the crowds early in the season aren't to that level, but man, that last game we had at home, I think there was almost 7,000 people here, and it's been electric. And I think our guys are feeding off it.
There for a while, you had a string of the first period, the second period were good. Third period was outstanding for like 3 or 4 games in a row. Last game, it seemed to me like it was a better 3-period game. You agree with that?
I don't think we were very good in the third. I think we defended too much, you know, and probably asked Upi to do a little too much in the third. But that happens. You're not, you know, I think there's a misconception of 60-minute performances and that these great teams play great for all 60 minutes. They don't. They withstand the 10 or 20-minute pockets where they slip a little, or usually when you slip, the other team is a big part to do with it. They want to win too. They care. They have great players on the other side of the bench. So you're not going to go 60 minutes with full control of the game. And when there's those pockets of the game that you're not at your best and they are pushing, you need to minimize those, but also manage those. And the 2 games that got away from us earlier in the year, I think that we allowed those games to slip away from us in those moments. And, you know, hopefully our young team is maturing and growing a little bit through that.
Yes, question. You feel like you improved in the first 2 periods last game?
I mean, I guess I don't look at the game like that, Don. I don't look at it from a perspective of period to period. I just look at our team every single day as we need growth. We need growth. And how do you grow? You grow from adversity and from challenges. You know, I haven't had a real issue. You know, like if it's 10 games in a row or 6 games in a row where your second period is very poor, I think you need to address that. I haven't felt that it's been a trend one way or the other this year. Lukasz Rusek is in tonight, yes.